You're watching the news summary on Kazakh TV, review of the major news of the week from Kazakhstan. I'm Joly Sagandikova. Good evening. Nursultan Nazarbayev has tasked the government to add new anti-crisis measures to state program Nurly Jol, particularly to support the domestic enterprises, businessmen and agribusiness. The budget expenditures will be optimized by 10% or 700 billion tenge. President Nazarbayev has chaired an extended government meeting in Aktobe on Wednesday. The president has said new task and refuted all rumors about the change of the national currency. Watch our next story to learn how Kazakhstan is going to create new jobs amid the economic crisis.
The drop in oil prices by more than 2 times, a recession in the neighboring Russia, all of that could not bypass the Kazakh economy. At a large meeting in Aktobe, Nursultan Nazarbayev once again explained how one can overcome the economic challenges. First of all, it is necessary to optimize the budget by 700 billion tenge and save on everything except social guarantees.
Когда было хорошо, нефть был больше $100 за баррель, другие продукты все продавались, металлы. Мы хорошо жили и расползлись, как говорится. Всегда так бывает.
When the oil price was more than $100 per barrel, products and metals were in good demand. But now we have to live within our means, and we need to overcome this period. I know that there are proposals to reduce social spending. It could be supported if it will not concern ordinary people. For example, our spending to support banks made up 500 billion tenge for hosting the Winter Universiade. 100 billion tenge of the second phase of the metro construction requires 227 billion tenge. All these projects can wait, and let's put them on hold. The most important thing is not to make our people, our citizens, suffer.
227 миллиардов тенге. Все, что может подождать, пусть подождет. Самое главное, чтобы не создать ущерб для наших людей, граждан.
Having optimized costs and postponed some projects until better times, Kazakhstan will direct all its efforts on the construction of roads, modernization of housing, and communal services to fight the unemployment. And it is the key to additional anti-crisis measures, which will appear in the Nurly Jol program, according to the new plan of country's president.
Nurly Jol делается для того, чтобы создать людям рабочие места.
The Nurly Jol, along with the expo and reconstruction of apartment buildings, all these projects are aimed at creating new jobs. Everything's done for ordinary people, for them to have jobs. The most important thing for the working man is to keep his working place. I know it. As a former worker, I appeal to all the heads of the companies. If you are forced to reduce production and staff, you need to preserve work positions. Although this worker may be engaged in another field, this is very crucial for the man and his family.
Это для человека, для его семьи принципиально важно.
President Nursultan Nazarbayev also talked about the weakening Russian ruble, which caused an influx of cheap goods that flooded Kazakh markets. This is advantageous for consumers, but has a negative effect for the domestic producers. The president reminded that he had been preparing businessmen to fierce competition for a long time. It is necessary to learn to work in a new environment, and this example will be a good lesson.
Сегодня на фоне ослабления российского рубля.
Today, the weak Russian ruble and the growing pressure of goods on the domestic market hurt Kazakhstan's manufacturers, but it has nothing to do with the EU. This is our strategic direction, and we will not quit. We will not quit the customs union either. In this case, thinking that these consequences were caused by one of these unions is immature. These sanctions will lead nowhere. I am sure that the Russian Federation will get out of the situation honorably. It will grow and prosper, and we will develop along with them.
Я уверен, и мы уверены, казахстанцы, что Россия выйдет с честью с этой ситуации, будет развиваться и процветать, и мы вместе с ней.
However, the president is not going to abandon business during the troubled times. Nazarbayev called Kazakh people to support domestic products. The businesses, at the same time, according to the president, should be lenient towards people and try to attract consumers with competitive prices and high quality.
Давайте запустим акцию «Сделано в Казахстане».
Let's start a campaign and name it Made in Kazakhstan, so sections of Kazakh goods would open in all trade centers. City administrations should control this. These goods were made in Kazakhstan. Let's address all citizens of Kazakhstan in this difficult situation to be patriots and buy our Kazakh goods, so that indirectly our citizens would help our economy.
Это будет помощь нашей экономике со стороны наших граждан.
A year ago, there was an adjustment in Kazakhstan's national currency, tenge. At least officially, it was called an adjustment. At present, there are various rumors about the reoccurring of such an adjustment. However, the president has warned that instigators will bear legal responsibility.
Я еще раз объявляю казахстанскому народу, ничего мы скрывать не будем.
I once again say this to the people of Kazakhstan. We will not hide any information. During challenging times, we will endure with the people. We will inform about the upcoming difficulties, and no one else will warn you but us. We must trust the official sources, not the rumors that spread around. Even in case of fluctuations, there are insurance terms to back up the deposits of the population. If it is necessary, the insurance will be expanded. 98% of depositors are fully secured by the insurance. What are we afraid of? Chairman of the National Bank has reported that all measures are taken to resolve these issues. I have no reason not to trust the National Bank.
Вкладчиков депозитов полностью обеспечены страхованием. Чего боится? Сегодня председатель Нацбанка мне докладывает, что принимаются все меры для того, чтобы эти вопросы решить. У меня нет основания не доверять Национальному банку.
The government officials should be examples of modesty in economy, since the government should not spoil but make people wiser. Nazarbayev has once again reminded that public sector employees should first of all serve the people.
Принимать людей, слушать людей. Вот эти мелкие вопросы решать, не гонять их по
The
кабинетам.
task of the public sector employees or the civil servants is to listen to the people, help them resolve their issues, not create legwork for the population and keep them wait in long lines. We are all working for the people, and public servants need to be an example of modesty and economy. The work of civil servants should not become their business, distributing public money to firms, their friends or relatives. Today, citizens expect a concrete and effective work from the executive power. The task of each member of the government and each mayor is to work hard, properly allocate funds, create jobs, improve the economy, and if not, then quit the job and vacate the seat for a more effective person. This year, Kazakhstan shall demonstrate that it is a strong state and can get out of any difficulties, but be optimistic about the future.
Для более эффективного человека. Так же, как и в экономике. Казахстан в этом году должен продемонстрировать, что мы сильное государство. Можем выходить из любых трудностей с оптимизмом, смотреть в будущее.
Members of the government, top management of national holdings, mayors and governors of a number of areas have presented information on anti-crisis measures and the current economic situation in the country. The ongoing work in the country, including the regions, continues. The president has instructed to closely monitor the expenditure of each tenge and encourage the leading political party Nursultan to join this work.
428 billion tenge will be allocated for the Nurly Jol program in the next 3 years, as reported during the briefing at the Central Communication Services by a member of Majilis Tatiana Yakovleva. According to her, 176 billion will be used this year alone. Yakovleva explained that the funds will be taken from the National Fund to support such sectors as engineering, infrastructure development, and small and medium-sized businesses.
Speaking of the budget issue, the head of state instructed to allocate additional funds from the national budget in order to make this program more efficient and more effective in a shorter period. Some 428 billion tenge was allocated for the implementation of this program in previous 3 years, and 176 billion tenge was allocated only for 2015.
The Assembly of People of Kazakhstan made an unexpected announcement last week. They had requested to hold presidential elections this year. According to the parliamentarians of the Assembly, the proposal was caused by several factors. We have outlined the reasons, and here are some arguments.
9 Majilis members from the Assembly voiced the initiative to hold presidential elections this year at a press conference of the Central Communications Services immediately after the meeting of the Board of the People's Assembly that has addressed an appeal to all citizens of Kazakhstan. This request was based on letters and appeals which were submitted by citizens. There were many requests. Also, it was discussed during the meetings with the population in the regions. The member of the Majilis, Jumatai Aliyev, voiced an appeal on behalf of the members of the Assembly during the briefing. The elections should be held this year for several reasons. A group of members from the Assembly is confident that the conditions of the growing economic crisis and the difficult political situation in the world, Kazakhstan should work on strengthening its stability. In addition, as it was planned earlier, Kazakhstan was to undergo 2 election campaigns in 2016, the presidential and parliamentary. According to the Majilis members, it would be very expensive to hold them both in 1 year.
На чаше весов безопасность государства.
The security of our citizens and the national interest of our country are absolutely important. Also, there is an issue that the presidential and parliamentary elections can't be held simultaneously. And here we must understand that 2016 will undergo the peak of the global crisis. We will have to hold two major electoral campaigns, and the election period would last almost the entire year. Do we need it in the midst of a crisis? Of course not.
Электоральной кампании, а избирательный цикл растянется почти на весь год. Надо ли это нам в разгар кризиса? Думаю, что нет.
The representatives of the Assembly are confident that the programs Nurly Jol and the strategy Kazakhstan 2050, initiated by the President in the period of the global financial crisis, will contribute to economic development of the country, and the proposed presidential election will unite Kazakhs with a common goal to implement long-term programs.
Мы живем непростое время.
The world is going through hard times. It is the time of global changes, global turmoil. We must create a strong foundation in the next 5 years, a solid foundation for the implementation of the strategy Kazakhstan 2050. This is a program of the future for our children and grandchildren. The program will allow our people to live comfortably in our country. There is no time for hesitation. I am for the elections.
На размышлении, на раздумывании, на раскачивании. Поэтому я за выборы.
The representatives of the Assembly have addressed their appeal to all citizens of Kazakhstan, the parliament, political parties, civil society, and the patriots. The proposal saw the support from leaders of several political parties and members of the Civil Alliance of Kazakhstan to hold this year's presidential election.
After the president's address to support domestic producers, large retail outlets in Pavlodar announced a large-scale campaign called Buy Kazakhstani products. Domestic products were marked with special stickers.
Dairy products like yogurt, milk, cream, cottage cheese are usually imported from abroad, but the freshest products are always produced domestically. Moreover, Kazakhstani products are cheaper than imported ones.
Мы поддерживаем президента.
We support the president. We have labeled our products with a special tag, local manufacturer, so that consumers will easily locate the domestically produced food. There is a big bright price tag. Sales representatives in turn provide the consumers with comprehensive information.
Дают исчерпывающую информацию.
The campaign Buy Kazakhstani products is already showing results. Customer demand for domestic product is growing, the vendor said. Rubicon is the largest producer of sausages and meat and semi-finished products, which include over 250 kinds. Products labeled Made in Kazakhstan enter the markets of the neighboring countries and Russia one step at a time. 400 people are employed at the production.
Мы, во-первых, очень рады, когда именно наши.
We are very pleased when Kazakh citizens buy our products. By doing so, they support us. 3 Pavlodar poultry farms also supply the region with chicken and eggs. Their products are cheaper than the imported ones. Also, famous Pavlodar noodles are produced in the region. The range of products has reached 100, although previously the factory was not operational. The product is exported to Russia, Kyrgyzstan, and then to Germany.
Очень хорошо, что президент призвал покупать нашу казахстанскую продукцию.
It is good that the president has urged to buy domestic products, because we will be able to expand our production and increase the number of jobs. We guarantee the quality of our products. It is always fresh.
Aktobe farmers welcomed the president's request to support the domestic producers. The retailers have created special sections and shelves in their stores only with Kazakh products.
The livestock complex in Alga district produces up to 6,000 tons of pork per year. It provides the domestic market with its environmentally friendly products and exports meat to Russia. The meat is delivered to local stores directly from butcheries. The local farmers have been winning the trust of customers throughout 5 years. It is very convenient, very profitable, and very supportive. Our products have been treated just yesterday, and today we can put them on the dinner table. I mean, the meat is fresh, not frozen, and it is natural without any chemicals.
Мясо хорошее наше.
We have a good domestic production of meat, flour, butter, potatoes, and cabbage. We only buy local products.
Картошка, капуста, что мы все покупаем.
One of the largest supermarkets of the city boasts about 10,000 various kinds, and 50% of them are domestic production.
Здесь и йогурты для детского питания.
We also produce yogurt, baby food, cheese, butter, and we are also planning to start production of hard cheeses. We can confidently say that most of the essential dairy products are produced in our
Мы
region.
можем уверенно сказать, что те товары, которые входят в нашу потребительскую корзину, большая часть, конечно, в регионе производится.
Local entrepreneurs, encouraged by the support of the state, are intending to expand their production and improve the quality of their products.
The first industrial zone has been launched in the Kostanai region. It was built from in a step. The cost and potential profits have been already calculated in the Jibek district. It was estimated that in 5 years, the innovative project will begin to generate profits to the local budget, and it will be in the focus of export-oriented industries.
Jiti Kara from Kazakh means look carefully. These footages were made last fall from a quadricopter. These 68 hectares are equal to 100 football fields, so there is plenty of room. It is hard to see anything, the water and sewage systems that have been launched last fall here. Also, there are power lines and a new road. The general cost was 312 million tenge. In addition, we have installed a pipeline over there. This year, 88 million tenge will be provided for the installation of roads and landscapes. Alexander Nevyodov is keen on the production of building structures. According to him, local entrepreneurs have difficulties developing business. They need modern infrastructure, but the whole area has long been occupied.
Мы планируем открыть не менее 10 новых производств и
We are planning to open at least 10 new productions with the creation of 150 permanent jobs. Accordingly, this increases our tax base. Other sectors will follow these projects, such as services and trade. We are expanding a synergy effect from this industrial zone.
это, скажем, торговля подтянется под этими, то есть эффект синергии ожидаем от этой индустриальной зоны.
7 business projects will also be implemented in the region. Some of them are associated with the processing of meat and milk. Export-oriented production from the border area will save from external trade interventions due to currency fluctuations. It is estimated that the $400 million project will yield return to the zone in 5 years.
Despite the optimization of the state budget, some 10 billion tenge will be allocated in the next 2 years to 10 Kazakh universities to train qualified personnel for the state program of the Accelerated Industrial Innovative Development. According to the Minister of Education and Science, Aslan Sarinjibov, these funds will be used for the purchase of laboratory equipment, training of teachers, and attracting renowned scholars. The Metropolitan Eurasian National University was selected as one of these 10 universities.
Нам поручено 10.
10 Kazakh universities were instructed to prepare highly qualified, world-class specialists for the implementation of 2 state programs of accelerated industrial and innovative development. The Gumilov Eurasian National University offered 2 educational programs on the preparation of the specialists in the construction industry, aerospace industry, and technology.
И высококлассных специалистов для строительной отрасли индустрии и космической техники и технологии.
According to Sarinjipov, the educational system will also be upgraded. Starting from 2016, Kazakh students will study under the upgraded programs. Thus, most of the lessons will be devoted to the specialized education and preparation for university enrollment.
То, что касается обновления программ, здесь будет усилен компонент предоставления навыков.
Speaking of updating the educational programs, the component of skills and competencies will be amplified, as well as educational work. This will be an integrated program that will help to develop such skills as critical thinking, teamwork, and creative information that will be integrated in all subjects. And thus, we will ensure compliance of our programs with international standards. That is, it will be presented as a 1+11 formula, but the 10th and 11th grades will be focused on specialized graduation classes.
Это будут профильные выпускные классы.
A new subject devoted to the Kazakh model of peace and harmony will be introduced to the curriculum in country's leading universities from the new academic year. Experts are already preparing programs of the new discipline. The first department of the People's Assembly of Kazakhstan was opened in October last year. Teachers are actively engaged in the educational work, promoting the ideas of tolerance and interethnic harmony among students. At present, People's Assembly of Kazakhstan has special departments. In addition, there are centers of peace and harmony on the basis of the 2 Petropavlovsk colleges. In the nearest future, it's planned to open departments of the Assembly in Karagandam and Ural universities. Representatives of the operating departments of the Assembly have proposed a number of developments that will be included in the curriculum of local universities.
This common methodological program implies the introduction of new discipline called Basics of Ethnic Tolerance at all universities. The new subject aims to promote the work of the Assembly of the People of Kazakhstan and patriotic education among youth, especially among students.
Ассамблеи народа Казахстана и направлен на воспитание патриотизма среди подрастающей молодежи, особенно в студенческой среде.
In the Youth Development Index, among 170 countries, Kazakhstan was ranked 27th, and the level of youth unemployment in the country reduced twice in the past 5 years, as announced during a briefing at the Central Communication Services by the Majilis member Miram Begintayev. According to him, the new law on state youth policy, recently signed by the president, ensures the further improvement of conditions for the young people. The fundamental principles of the document will be education, housing and work, as well as the opportunity to actively participate in country's public and political life. For example, the probationary period for employment is cancelled, and the age limit of participants in the Affordable Housing 2020 program has been extended to 35. Specialists will continue the work on issues of youth policy at the national and regional levels. It was proposed to introduce the results of the work into the curriculum of Kazakh universities.
Молодые семьи хотят прийти в ресурсный центр, допустим, после 8 вечера.
Young families want to turn to the resource center, for example, after 8 p.m., but closes at 6 p.m. The center is there, but the services aren't provided at that time. With the appearance of this law, all things are prescribed. That is, before the assessment of needs and requirements, before financing, the local authorities assess the needs of the youth.
Мы предполагаем, что будет активное участие молодежи через...
We assume that there will be an active participation of the young people through dialogue, platforms, and through regional forums for the youth. We should perceive young people not as observers, but as active participants in state, public, and political processes.
Общественных и политических процессов. Это очень важно.
The National Research Center for Maternal and Child Health has opened a complex of clean rooms, a department which will maintain the required level of sterility and microclimate thanks to a special air treatment. This will allow to conduct a bone marrow transplantation and treatment of attenuated child's body without fear of infection. Over the years of existence, the center has conducted only 5 such surgeries, but from now on, the number of such procedures will increase and will reach 25 per year.
Our department will conduct the transplantation for all children who would need this treatment without any complications, as there is full compliance with international quality standards. Children do not die from a disease, but from an infection. Therefore, we provide a high degree of sterility. Only one patient can be treated at a time.
Opening of this department is dedicated to the International Childhood Cancer Day. Throughout the world, it is celebrated on February 15th. On this day, the doctors want to remind the world that children especially need support and help. According to the statistics, every year, 350 cases of cancer are detected among children in Kazakhstan. Among them, leukemia is the leader. It affects 30% of young patients. Doctors emphasize that 70 or 80% of patients survive in the early stages of diagnosis. In the capital's National Research Center for Maternal and Child's Health, almost 2,500 children were cured within 5 years.
Мы попали сюда в 2012 году в сентябре.
We got here in September 2012, and in May 2013, we were discharged with complete remission. The girl was in critical condition. She was only 2.5 years old. The doctor said that she had a very little chance. But our doctors are really great. They cure children from the most harsh conditions. My daughter resumed going to kindergarten, and everything is fine now.
2 года скоро будет. Дома ребенок ходит в садик. Все прекрасно.
19 Kazakhstani citizens became holders of prizes of the First President's Fund. An annual ceremony was held in the Grand Hall of the Nazarbayev Center for the first time.
73 projects from across the country have participated in the contest. According to the jury, it was a challenging task for them to choose the best. However, the names of the winners were announced. They were film director Emir Baygazin, opera stars Sultana Akhmetova and Tatiana Vinitskaya, ballet soloist Aygerim Beketayeva and Dojan Tabildi, as well as chemists and biologists, teachers and doctors.
As
we know, the health of our children and the health of our nation is absolutely important. We are deeply grateful for the fund for the First President for organizing such competitions, which give a certain impetus to development, namely in the professional field. Saleh Salemanova was awarded with the prize for the development of new treatment methods for childhood diseases. Another winner was our colleague Yaroslav Krasenko, has received an award for the documentary Nazarbayev Live. This result was achieved by a large crew of video engineers, technicians, and drivers, dozens and hundreds of people. I want to thank all of them very much. Without them, television wouldn't exist. And of course, I want to thank the fund of the First President, which gave the stimulus to develop further. Those who did not win the award can once again compete for the title next time. About 100 people, the representatives of science, culture, and art, were the winners of the fund over 6 years.
The Uralsk military personnel has honored the World War II officer of the Order of the Red Star and the captain of medical service, the 90-year-old veteran Ekaterina Krylova. She had rescued 40 wounded soldiers from the battlefield during one of the most desperate in history sieges in Stalingrad. The frontline soldiers shared memories with younger colleagues, military physicians who gathered from all over the country at the military unit number 5517 for the methodological and training sessions.
Ekaterina Krylova was sent to war when she was 16. She learned to be a paramedic and fought in the 282nd Infantry Regiment of the 10th Division of the People's Commissariat of the International Affairs. Together with the soldiers of her regiment, she withstood the first attack of the fascists. Back then, her skills and strength were her greatest assets. During the battle for the tractor manufacturing plant, then the young Katya led fighters to a counterattack.
Убили всех командиров, а я старшая по званию.
All the commanders were killed, and I was a senior officer. The soldiers were all aware of what that meant. I took the command. The Germans were advancing on our anti-tank gun. I led the soldiers. We seized the gun and then began to shoot again. In 1942, I was awarded the Red Star for this fight and for saving 40 wounded from the battlefield.
И мы начали опять стрелять, и за этот бой, и за вынос с поля 40 раненых, вот я получила там же в Цареграде в 1942 году Красную Звезду.
The official statistics say that the losses among the medical workers on the battlefront during the war were ranked second after the losses of infantry battalions. But Ekaterina Krylova was fortunate. She escaped death 3 times, and during the war she was never injured. Although it was not just luck, she says. According to her, it was the imperative to carefully observe the actions of the Nazi shooters.
Бомба упала, все взорвалось.
A bomb was dropped and everything exploded. I jumped into a crater and pulled back the wounded soldiers. The second time the bomb didn't hit the target. If the projectile recoiled forth and back, then you are forked and you need to run as far away as possible.
Убегай подальше.
About 50 specialists of medical services, teams and units, as well as doctors, psychiatrists, gather for methodological and training sessions to improve their skills. Ekaterina Krylova has shared her experiences with her colleagues, military physicians.
С особой теплотой и гордостью.
We remember the military work of the veterans on the battlefields of World War II with special warmth and pride. We would like the veterans to share experience in the terms of continuity of generations, and especially in the military field. At present, the work of the military physician in our country is also especially valuable, as during World War II.
Также особо ценен, как и в годы Великой Отечественной войны.
These were the main news for the past week on Kazakh TV. You're watching the news summary from Kazakhstan, my home country. I'm Joly. I'll see you soon. Have a good and productive week. Goodbye.